time. It is the new year. So we are back every single Friday. I will still be going live to talk about different topics as it relates to Airbnb. So, first of all, Happy New Year, guys. I'm fixing my hair. I just came from the gym. So, excuse me. Happy New Year. I want to talk about experience that one of my mentees just went through, and you may have something similar happen to you. So let's talk about how you deal with it. So, first of all, Happy New Year. Happy 2023. I am so excited to start this year. 2022 went by so fast. I don't know what goals you have written down for yourself, but I hope you wrote down some goals and you're making some plans, some big plans for 2023. So let's get into it. So, an incident that one of my mentees literally just went through with her unit. She has a brand new unit in Florida. She does not allow pets. She does not allow smoking. So this particular guest, she booked for a week, and I guess she decided she needed to stay longer. So instead of her extending, she just booked another week. By that time it's already done, so she can't really extend. So the cleaner shows up because she didn't realize that the same guest would be there, right? All she saw is that she had a job on this day, not knowing that the guest was actually staying. So she shows up, she knocks on the door, she goes inside, and she notices that all the stuff is still there. So then she's trying to call the host and like, hey, like, what is going on? She's still here. But while inside, she noticed that there was a little dog running around, and it ran under the bed. And she sees like pads all over the floor, like little pee pads for the dog. She also notices that the guest has the hookah and, whatever stuff, but there's a hookah that's on the kitchen counter, right? That's smoke. Okay. That's smoking. So she walks out of the unit because she's like, obviously this person has not packed up to leave. So she's trying to get a hold of our mentee. She couldn't get a hold of her. So then she reaches out to us. And we're like, okay, we explain the situation because the mentee has mentioned it before. And so we let her know that the guest was still staying. She's like, well, that's fine, but whenever she does leave, there will be an extra cleaning fee for the dog, and also because of the smoking smell, the hookah. And so we talked to our mentee, and she talked to her guest, and the guest, was apologetic and said, she's willing to pay, and that she was sorry. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys because it may be something that happens to you, right? You have no pet policy or no smoking policy, and someone is clearly violating that policy. So our mentee does have a ring camera on her front door, but she is on the first floor, and her patio door, someone can walk. It's clearly the guest went through the patio door and brought the dog in because at no point did anyone see her bringing the dog in through the front door. So I guess, she knew that she wasn't supposed to do it. She was just hoping that she would get away with it, but um, she was caught. So in cases like that, like, how do you handle that situation? What do you say? So whenever I have someone that is clearly violating rules and you like catch them, especially if you catch them red-handed, you're like, hey, I just wanted to reiterate that this is a no, we don't allow pets in the unit. So I just want you to know that we'll have to unfortunately charge a pet cleaning fee because the cleaners, they do charge, right? Especially depending on what kind of dog it is. And clearly this dog was not house broken yet because there were pee pads everywhere and there was pee or a smell of pee in the unit. So it's going to need some extensive cleaning. So just kind of explaining to my guests that, hey, I'm sorry, but we don't allow pets. We don't allow smoking. So unfortunately, I will have to charge you for those things because our cleaners charge us for it. And luckily in this case, the guest agreed. She knew that she wasn't supposed to do those things, but she agreed to pay, and she's paying the host. But like, what would you do if your guest is smoking, they have pets, or whatever the case is, and you show up to your place and you have all this evidence, and of course, you may be upset. But how do you handle it? So even when guests leave my place and they damage something or take something, I typically just say, "Hey, we showed up to the unit, and like, hey, the parking pass is not here." I literally had someone steal a parking pass. I'm like, why? And he's like, well, I left it. I even took a picture. And I said, well, I understand that, but no one went inside of the unit after you. We have a ring. It was only you exiting the unit. And then we showed up. The cleaner showed up, and the parking pass is not here. He's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. So unfortunately, we had to charge him. So I just, try not to accuse them necessarily of like wrongdoing, but just letting them know, hey, I just wanted you to know if it's damages, right? I'll send some pictures, and I'm like, hey, can you tell me what happened here? Give them a chance to explain. And whatever memory loss they could have had, maybe the pictures will help them remember. So I'll just send pictures and like, hey, can you tell me what happened here? My cleaner showed up and this is what they found. We had a guest that left our unit like pretty trash, like he vomited everywhere, and it was a mess. And so I sent pictures like, hey, what happened? Like, what is this? And at first he said, well, I don't know what that is. I didn't leave the unit like that. Then he came back and he's like, oh, I think it's black soap. One, I just let